It ain't Smackville, it's what happened on my universe mode. That's right, it's not Smackville, but we're not too far from that place, no, because we're in Memphis, Tennessee for Smackdown Live. Headlining the show, we've got a pretty huge match between The Miz and the great Eddie Guerrero, but we opened it with something equally great, with Ronda Rousey going one-on-one with Charlotte Flair. Flair was on top in the beginning with a float over DDT and a cool looking suplex, but soon had her feet swept from beneath her by Ronda Rousey as a counter. Rousey then took her down and punched her in the face a few times. Rousey chucked Charlotte into the corner and gave her a running knee before picking her up for a shithouse rock bottom. After that though, Charlotte was able to counter herself and was back on top with an elbow. Charlotte was able to then hit the spear on Ronda Rousey and put her in to the figure eight, and after a while of writhing in pain, Ronda Rousey was eventually able to power out and punch Charlotte away. The baddest woman on the planet then hit a takedown and an angle slam. Ronda Rousey then cemented her advantage with a superplex before picking her up and drilling her down with the Piper's Pit. Ronda Rousey went for the pin and scored the win. Victory for Ronda Rousey, but her night was not over, as after the match she posed with her belt but was soon joined in the ring by Becky Lynch. The man attacked Ronda Rousey from behind and then grabbed her SmackDown Women's title belt, ramming it into her head for dropping it and walking off, and we moved on to our second match of the evening. AJ Styles, the Intercontinental Champion, was facing off against Goldust. Unfortunately for Goldust, AJ Styles wanted to keep it quick, so reversed his initial move, hitting him with a drop kick and a moonsault into a reverse DDT before smashing him with a frog splash. AJ would then hit Goldust with a dirty German suplex, but didn't bargain on Goldust getting up again and reversing his next move, which he did, and then brought down Styles with a crucifix and a flatliner. Goldust carried on with a side suplex before throwing Styles into the corner. Unfortunately, his next move was missed when he went for a running butt bump. Styles then hit the dazed Goldust with a springboard blockbuster and a huge powerbomb. We thought Goldust was done after that when Styles nailed him with a phenomenal forearm, but just to make sure, he hit the Styles Clash also, went for the pin, and of course he won. AJ Styles, still Intercontinental Champion, and of course would have been even if he lost because it was non-title. Anyway, next match, Dolph Ziggler. He had a straightforward singles match with the Scottish psychopath Drew McIntyre, and it seemed a lot more straightforward for him when Edge attacked Drew McIntyre on the ramp. He seemingly endlessly beat on McIntyre's head, and the referee tried to break him off, but instead had to end up calling over some security to pull off Edge and allow Drew McIntyre to actually have the match. Dolph Ziggler then took some inspiration from Edge and seized an opportunity to grab Drew McIntyre while he was down and threw him in the ring and started attacking him. After choking McIntyre on the bottom rope, Dolph Ziggler hit a huge takedown and a big power slam, but we then saw some resiliency from Drew McIntyre as he reversed the next move, hitting with a shoulder barge and a Northern Lights suplex. It turned out to be a short-lived advantage as Dolph Ziggler hit a clothesline and a famouser before nailing a snapmare and the zigzag to pick up the win over his former partner. Although I don't know if that was in this universe, but it doesn't matter, he won. And we move on to the fourth match of the evening, which was a tag team match featuring the Colognes, Primo and Epico, taking on that new tag team, Jinder Mahal and Bobby Roode. No snazzy tag name for them just yet. The match began with Epico versus Jinder, and Epico hitting Jinder with various moves before tagging into his partner Primo. We got some double teamness that looked very much like the moves that Los Matadores used to do. Don't know why. Mahal was eventually able to hit a reversal. He smashed a knee into Primo's head, dropped him on the top rope with a stun gun, and then tagged into Bobby Roode. We got a little bit of double teams from them also. Bobby Roode smashed Primo with a full Nelson slam and posed, which allowed him to get a tag to Epico, but that didn't really do much as Bobby Roode attacked him as he jumped in and then gave him a nasty looking clothesline, followed by a nice flapjack. There was a little bit more double teamness from Mahal and Roode before Jinder Mahal hit his finishing move. The Class quickly tagged back into Bobby Roode, who was able to drill Epico with a spinebuster and the glorious DDT, and he went for the pin. 1, 2, 3, another win for the WWE Universe's newest tag team, Jinder Mahal and Bobby Roode. On to the main event now, as the match I mentioned earlier, it was The Miz, accompanied by his wife Maryse, the World Heavyweight Champion, was taking on Latino Heat, Eddie Guerrero. Guerrero was on the offense from the get-go, hitting a spinning elbow and an arm breaker on The Miz, but The Miz was soon in control as he reversed a grapple from Guerrero and then put him down with a shin breaker. The Miz gave Guerrero a quick kick to the shins, which put him on his knees, and that gave him the opportunity for his world famous id kicks and then a nice DDT while he was on his knees. Eddie Guerrero, though, was back in control thanks to a missed Miz punch, and Guerrero hit a powerbomb and went for the pin, but Miz was able to kick out. After Snake Eyes, Eddie Guerrero picked up The Miz for the Three Amigos, and after that he was down, so Eddie Guerrero went to the top rope, but before he could do anything, Maryse got on the apron, distracted the referee and distracted Eddie Guerrero enough to give The Miz an opportunity to raise his knees up and go back into the ascendancy. Following a neck breaker, The Miz hit the skull-crushing finale and went for the pin, but Eddie Guerrero was able to kick out at 2. So instead, The Miz got on the top rope and hit Eddie Guerrero with his own finishing move, the Frog Splash, and that was enough to knock the wind out of Eddie Guerrero and give Miz the victory. After the match, though, The Miz went and grabbed a chair in order to give Eddie Guerrero a few more shots, but that plan was thwarted when Christian stormed to the ring, grabbed that chair and chased away The Miz, and that is it for this edition of Smackdown Live, and more importantly, that's it for this edition of What Happened on My Universe Mode. Like and subscribe. Indie Takeover next.